Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February. 6 months have now elapsed. After the first few weeks, many observers had flagged glaring issues with the Russian military force, like logistics problems and ineffective use of air power. Even the general public could make out that all is not well with Russia's military combat capability. Many insider accounts have trickled out which validate this. The Russian blogger and volunteer of the so-called Luhansk People's Republic, Murz, has now provided some interesting details in a write-up titled "Half a Year of SMO" or Special Military Operation. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how a Russian insider has exposed the abject condition of the Russian military. Let's get into the details. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. Use the code DEFENSE at the checkout to get an extra month free for the 2-year plan. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. In his report, it stated, "The reality is that in the spring, the Russian Federation killed all those forces with which we were able to carry out large-scale encirclement operations. No encirclement operations, no decisive turning point in the course of the war. I already wrote about it." Murz admits that a large chunk of combat-ready Russian forces, which were most capable, have been lost in the first stages of the war. Russia has been using scorched earth tactics. Russian artillery and MLRS, multiple launch rocket system, are pummeling Ukrainian positions. In this context, Murz writes, "The enemy will slowly retreat in those places where they'll be pressed by the artillery powerfully enough. But they'll retreat to prepared positions occupied by the reserves deployed. To grind their cheap infantry in this way, without having enough of our own proper infantry, can take a very long time and not bring much success." He indicates Russia has no other choice but to shell Ukrainian positions with the hope of the latter retreating. We know the Russian Air Force hasn't been up to its game, and its military precision strike capability is limited. This is 20th century warfare, and with these kind of tactics, the Kremlin cannot expect to have a swift victory. Murz writes, "As already mentioned, instead of the normal replenishment of currently fighting troops, a program has been launched to form new units from scratch. We will observe the slaughter of this wave of volunteers over Ukrainian positions, including the next 3-month-old BARs, Special Reserve Initiatives in Russia, during the fall. With no mobilization, there will be no fully fledged replenishment of troops. Are you forming new units in conditions of a general shortage of personnel and communications? They will initially turn out to be uncontrollable, roll out in dense columns to the front line, and be wrecked by the enemy artillery and MLRS." He's basically saying that the reservist recruitment program in Russia is not going to be of much help, as these new units are too fresh and ill-organized to be effective in this ongoing conflict. Murz writes, "Recently, while receiving a pair of binoculars from me for his subordinates from one of the line battalions, one veteran of the Luhansk militia and the Prizrak battalions in particular said, 'We could do with more textbooks on tactics topography.' It's a rare case when a person understands that untrained people can't do anything, especially officers not trained to be officers. However, I'm damn tired of arguing. I argued for 7 years, tore myself explaining that one should not fly in the clouds, one should prepare for a serious fight. Get ready seriously. No one cared. Now I just don't have time for these arguments. You'll see everything yourself." Murz clearly indicates that Russian personnel are not ready for this conflict and need proper training before they can be expected to fare better. Murz states, "If there will be no mobilization in the Russian Federation, the front line will not just stop, but we will begin to slowly roll back in places in the opposite direction, to the sounds of calibers flying over the heads of the U-crops somewhere into their rear. This is a war to destroy Russia. No one will agree to any compromise peace unless the very fact of its agreeing is included in the mechanism of a coup d'etat in the Russian Federation. And this war, with excellent chances of winning our leadership, has every chance of squander." While Murz understands that mobilization will not enable Russia to make a breakthrough, without it, Russian forces may start to retreat from the position they've gained till now. This could lead to a collapse in Ukraine.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.